Samsung Galaxy J7 Prime versus Nokia 6 speed test. That video is coming up right now. Let's go. So what is up, guys? Nick here, helping you to master your technology, and welcome to the J7 Prime versus the Nokia 6. Nokia is back, but first thing I want to talk about before we test these is the price. Now the J7 Prime can be had for around $239.99 for the 16GB unlocked edition. 16GB is kind of a stretch, but that's the price point for it. Now going over here on the Nokia 6, you can find this guy for $229. This is the edition I have right here. You can go with the Prime exclusives for $179.99, so slightly cheaper there for the Nokia 6. But with that being said, let's get into the boot up test of both of these. Alright guys, so we're gonna boot both of these guys up at the same time in 3, 2, and let's go. And I do see the powered by Android logo first there for the Nokia 6. Let's see if the J7 Prime though can boot up quicker here. TouchWiz versus more of a stock Android feel. So I do think that the Nokia is going to boot up quicker, but let's see what happens here. So we do see the Nokia line or branding right there. And Samsung is logoing, is lighting up, so that should mean that it's coming on soon. What is going to happen here? This is a close one. Okay, the J7 Prime is first to the home screen over the Nokia 6. And here comes the Nokia 6. Alright, so it is a win there for the J7 Prime on the boot up. So guys, before we get into the application test, I do want to confirm the versions of software. These are on 6.0.1 here, Marshmallow for the J7 Prime. I haven't received the Nougat update yet on my unlocked model here, and 7.1.1 Nougat here for the Nokia 6. So the Nokia 6 has definitely got the advantage in terms of the more up-to-date software. In addition, I do want to mention in this app test, animations are sent to 0.5.5.5 and 0.5.5.5 on both devices here. So one last thing before we get into this application test, let's take a quick look at the specification. So the Samsung Galaxy J7 Prime does have an Exynos 7870 CPU. That's a 1.59 gigahertz clock speed and octa-core A53 chips. This is built on the 14 nanometer process over here, and it does have a Mali T830 GPU. Let's go over into the device, and you can see 5.50 inches, 1920 by 1080 on the pixels, and this does have 3 gigs of RAM here for the J7 Prime. Now over here on the Nokia 6, we have a slightly less powerful Qualcomm Snapdragon 430 CPU clocked in at a lower 1.40 gigahertz. This is also an octa-core CPU, but this one is built on a 28 nanometer process. So for the same price, you're actually getting a 14 nanometer chipset. If you don't know what this mumbo jumbo spec means, all it means is this is a faster device, better processor, more efficient than this processor right here. Adreno 505 on this device. Going into this device, you can see 2820, that's 3 gigs of RAM but across a 5.46 inch display, and this is a 1920 by 1080p panel. Now this is a 32 gig, this is a 16 gig, not that that really matters in terms of the speed. Everything is closed out on both devices. You can see all recent items have been closed. Let's go home and let's do the speed test here. So let's go into calendar, and I did load up the Google Calendar on the J7 Prime to make this fair. You see the J7 Prime is ahead, going home about the same. Let's go into calculator, J7 Prime again, and let's come home here, and you could see coming home about the same. Let's go into clock. That one looked dead even. Coming home, Nokia 6 slightly home quicker because it has a capacitive button. It is a little skinny, kind of reminds me of the Optimus G line from the past, the Optimus G Pro, but it still works pretty well. So let's go into the camera, and you can see the camera is open first for the J7 Prime. Coming home here, let's go into the Chrome. So going into Chrome, I wanted to make this fair, and we're gonna go into, let's see, yahoo.com for example. Yahoo.com right here, for example. Let's go into yahoo.com over here. Let's hit go and see which one is quicker. So it is the J7 Prime again. So coming home here, let's go into Instagram on both devices. And you could see, looks like the J7 Prime again. So a faster phone all around so far for the J7 Prime. Nice stuff there. For $10 more, you're getting a faster device in the J7 Prime, but you might be getting slightly better build quality in the Nokia 5 or the Nokia 6, depending on your tastes. So let's go into the YouTubes now. YouTube's on both devices. And you can see YouTube is open again first on the J7 Prime, and we're still waiting there for the Nokia 6. It's pretty slow right there in comparison. Let's go into Amazon, and you can see Amazon is first again for the J7 Prime. I don't think this is going to change across the board. Let's go into eBay, and you can see eBay once again, J7 Prime. Still waiting on the Nokia 6. Still waiting on the Nokia 6. Still waiting, and still waiting, and there is the Nokia 6. So let's go into Play Newsstand. And you can see Play Newsstand is first on the J7 Prime once again. I don't think this is going to change. I mean, we go through all these applications. We might see a change in the games maybe though. You see that one's about the same. So the Play Store very well optimized for the stock Android, so definitely about the same there. Let's go into Subway Surfers on both devices and see what happens here. Now this is a game, so these are different GPUs. So let's see which one could load the game up first here. So it looks like the Nokia might have the lead here in the gaming department. Is it going to take it? It looks like it might with that Adreno 505. Okay, it looks like we have a winner here on the... Still waiting on both. Both are pretty slow. Yep, Nokia 5 takes the win on the gaming department. So let's go into Temple Run on both devices. Let's see if Nokia can do this again for the game. No, J7 Prime is ahead there. So now the Nokia 6 comes back. So the Nokia 6 is a little bit behind the J7 Prime in a lot of areas here. So you can see Dead Trigger is going to load up first here for the, that's the J7 Prime. Yep, J7 Prime again. So it only got one win there for the, the Subway Surfers. So let's go into CPU-Z. And you can see J7 Prime again. So it's pretty clear here which one is the faster device. The J7 Prime pretty much took the Nokia 6 down in the boot up test in all of these applications. Now let's do some multitasking. All right guys, so here I'm quickly gonna run through the applications going into the calendar. They both had to reload that, but the Nokia 6 did a better job going into the calculator. J7 Prime going into the clock looked about the same as it did in the first round. Going into the camera, about the same there. Nope, the Nokia lost that one. Going into Chrome, and you could see Nokia wins the Chrome round. Going into Instagram, and you could see J7 Prime, yes, J7 Prime is first. Going into Twitter, you could see Twitter is first there for the J7 Prime. Coming home here, let's go into YouTube, and you could see YouTube should be loading up first there for the J7 Prime. Going into Amazon, and it's first there for the Nokia 6. Going into eBay, you could see eBay is first for the J7 Prime. Coming home, let's go to Play Newsstand. And it looks like the J7 Prime is going to take it there as well. Going into Play Store, neither one of these devices are doing extremely well here in multitasking though. They are reloading a lot of stuff. So I wouldn't say neither one of these are great multitasking phones in terms of RAM management. They're both pretty weak here because they're reloading stuff left and right. So which one is going to win here on the game? This is a total reload. I don't even think this is necessary right here, but we're going to wait anyway to see which one wins it. And it's the Nokia 6 again for Subway Surfers. So the optimization on Subway Surfers is better on the Nokia 6. You can see another reload. There's no sense in even waiting. These are just reloading applications here. Both are pretty weak in this regard. But again, the Samsung is ahead there on Dead Trigger and CPU-Z. Looks like the Samsung once again. So overall, I'm going to say the Samsung all around still better, even in the multitasking over the Nokia 6. All right, guys, and one final test is going to be more of the numbers. These don't really mean anything, but we're going to go ahead and do the Geekbench anyway for those of you who care about the stats. So let's go ahead and run the CPU benchmarks on both, and when they are done, we will see the final scores for both devices. Remember, this is the Exynos chip. This is the Snapdragon chip. So guys, the Nokia 6 and the J7 Prime is done. You can see the J7 J7 Prime finishes with a higher score of 708 on the single core, and the Nokia 6 finishes with a single core of 667. So both of these devices are rather weak in the single core scores, but in the multi-core score, the J7 Prime is significantly ahead over the Nokia 6 at 3290 over 2847. So even in the benchmark, the J7 Prime is the better phone. So it's pretty clear here in this speed test, the J7 Prime is the faster device all the way around over the Nokia 6. Now, is it a better device? Well, you're gonna have to stay tuned to the channel to figure that out, as I'm gonna make a should you buy the J7 Prime or the Nokia 6 video. That's coming soon, so subscribe for that. If you enjoyed this video, hit the thumbs up for me, and any comments, questions, concerns, suggestions, feedback, leave that in the comments section of this video. Share this with one friend. Nick here, helping you to master your technology. Be sure to be well. I will catch you all in the next episode, and peace.